gone live yet.
Are you kidding me?
No, I hit go live and we just did all that. And I don't think it took because there's a message up here. It says, you've got to start this soon.
Oh, that's our best opening and intro ever. I'm certain of it.
Little technical difficulty. You know what? I think we should just go on.
I think we should just keep rolling with it
Yeah.
because it was awesome to you and I.
Oh, it was fantastic.
So who are you?
I don't know anymore. I'm Chris of the Northwest. And it's
what is
Thursday
this?
night at 9 p.m. And we're going to talk about geocaches and geocachers from here and all around the globe. So while you're stuck on hold for 2 hours with tech support,
we're stuck on hold waiting for this podcast to start.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, hey guys, tell us in the chat if you heard the original opening.
It was so good. I think it was the best we've ever done without Jim.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's tough to follow up. Yeah.
It is. Yeah. But all right. Well, we are missing Wits End. But tonight we're going to talk about power trails. Love them or leave them. Live audience, share your thoughts with us. We are super duper curious to hear your thoughts on this topic as well. So there you go.
I don't think they heard the original opening. Oh, well. No? Yeah.
That's too bad.
It's an inside joke now.
Oh, it was pretty amazing, I got to say.
Wow. Can you believe we're 422 episodes in and we finally had a mistake?
I know. First one ever.
I know. Exactly.
All right. Well, that's our one ever. Mm-hmm. So.
Okay. I will tell you that since we've got a moment now, when I hit go live, and then I started the intro and it was spinning for a while and I'm like, come on, I'm running out of, my intro's timed here. And I thought, it must have went. Okay. And then I look back and says, Facebook says you have to start soon or they'll cancel the feed.
Okay.
I'm not
awesome. It was
I'm not starting over. One and done.
That's right. It was good.
Oh, I really like the Land Monkey intro this time.
It was probably one of the wittiest ones ever. I mean, I couldn't stop laughing when you said it, but oh well, folks, I guess you'll just have to wait till next week.
You didn't start laughing. Oh, anyway.
Funny guy. Well, hey, you know what else we should start? We should start reminding people that we appreciate the support of our patrons who help to keep this podcast coming each and every week. And a thanks to Land Sharks, one of our corporate Denali level sponsors. Hey, folks, check out the new Trackable Adventure Patch. It is PVC. Yours will not be transparent unless you have a green screen. But
how about semi-transparent?
Perhaps. But there you go. Look at that. Very cool. Hey, this is from Land Sharks. And Land Sharks says, thank you to me, Land Monkey, for modeling it. If you want to see that whole modeling session we did up at the lake, all the pics are on landsharks.ca website, where you can also order this product. All right. Our other corporate Denali level sponsor is Gold Country Geotourism. That's right. Gold Country wants to remind you to plan for when travel is available up in Gold Country again. And remember to know before you go. And hey, if you are curious about Gold Country, well, just check out exploregoldcountry.com to learn more. And if you want to know more about supporting, I don't know, this podcast, why don't you just head on over and click that Patreon link on the cachingnw.com a website.
And with that, a website mention. It's time for the glow. What is the glow, you may ask? Why? It's the geocaching log of the week. Whether you wrote it or whether you read it, we want to hear about it because great logs simply make geocaching better. You can send an email or a recording, do it in a field, do it in a building, just send a recording to feedback@cachingnw.com. You can also call into 253-693-TFTC. In fact, it's right here. It's right. I can't do that. It's right here. See that? Yeah. I can't make my hand go the other way it wanted to go. Needed to go. So do that. Call in and show us how you glow. Now, this glow comes from our friend, Subway Mark. Now he submitted it, he didn't write it, for the geocache GC839 Kilo Echo Oregon History Fallen Troopers. The cache is from the log, I mean, is from Me Too 1865. And I'm sure that's the year they were born. Why else would you put those numbers in a? Yeah. Anyway,
Seems to make sense.
oh, maybe January 8th, 1965. I don't know. I'm just coming up with things. Here's the log. When I saw that I might have the opportunity to visit this memorial, I knew I wanted to earn this find. It was a moving thing to visit the location that honors Oregon's fallen state trooper. It's a blessing that there are those who are willing to serve and protect, and I'm sorry that some lost their lives in that service. This find is dedicated to Iowa State Patrol Sergeant Jim Smith. EOW. It would mean something, but I can't figure out what it means.
Oh,
okay.
I was wondering what the dramatic pause was. I don't know what EOW stands for either, but maybe somebody in the research department can let us know.
End of watch.
That would probably make sense, but go on.
Anyway, April 9th, 2021. I had known Jim and his wife for over 21 years since attending prenatal classes as we were each expecting our first children. Though I didn't know Jim well, his wife is the secretary of my church and their two children have grown up to be honorable young adults. It was important for me to bear witness to his sacrifice. I found a rural county road overpass to occupy as he returned home after his death and the miles of law enforcement cars that accompanied him. I attended the funeral, witnessed the respect paid to Jim from others in law enforcement and from all over the country. The week from Jim's death was many instances of being honored to witness the ceremony and saddened that it was for the father of my friends or my children's friends. I regret that prior to Jim's death, I had failed to thank peace officers for their service. I took it for granted that peace officers should get to go home to their spouses and children after every shift. I give this geocache a favorite point because of what this memorial represents.
Wow. That's a very impactful.
Yes, it is, isn't it?
Yeah, glow log. Normally we're having a little fun and joking around with them. This one's pretty serious. So there you go. Subway Mark says it is end of watch, and we did get clarification from the research department at the chat lackey as well. So EOW is end of watch.
Yep, no longer on duty. Yes. It just took me off guard there. I thought, oh, I wait, this has to mean something.
Yeah, there you go.
So there you go. I thank police officers every chance I get.
There's a few people in the chat actually who knew what EOW.
Yeah, exactly.
So there you go.
I one memorable encounter with a law enforcement officer. We were both waiting for our food at lunch. And I went up to him and I said, I just want to say thank you. And I held my hand out and he looked down at my hand and back up at me. He says, rarely do I get all 5 fingers. Like, wow. Well,
funny.
Thank you for what you do.
Good for you, Chris. All right. Well, hey, folks, if you want to contribute, and a whole bunch of you have already contributed, remember to use #power to add your questions and opinions and thoughts and deep probing analysis to tonight's show. And hey, if you got something you just want to chit chat about that's not related to power trails, well, heck, #FATAS, and we'll bring it up in the after show.
Trexer wants to know if this is going to be a controversial topic.
Nah, power trails and stuff like that. Never.
Oop, I'm still glowing.
Are you? Oh, there's something about that glow you've got.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah, and Brian's response to Trexer was, depends if you participate in the chat and make it controversial. There you go. Yeah, we'll have some opinions and we'll have some facts and we'll discuss and debate and have some fun, because ultimately this hour on a Thursday night to me is about having fun.
That's right. That's really what it's about. I try to keep things light and entertaining, right? Let's escape the world for a moment. Talk about something we love to do.
You got it.
Now, I'm going to set hard and fast rules after saying that all that love stuff. Here's what a power trail has to be. Period. End of story. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay.
Lay it on me, big guy.
Okay, well, maybe these aren't hard and fast rules, but maybe some guidelines, some key elements. The caches should be part of a series placed by a single cache owner or maybe a group of owners. The caches should be placed at a minimum distance between hides. That's 528 feet or a certain number of meters.
I'm already having issue with your rules, but keep going.
No, these are hard and fast and cannot be changed. We will move on.
Keep going.
The caches should be easy to find. The purpose of the series is to provide as many finds as possible in the shortest amount of time. And there should be a sufficient number of caches. Now, this one I'm willing to debate on, but there should be a sufficient number of caches to make it for a challenging day of geocaching.
Only this one? This is the only one you're willing to debate on?
Yeah, this is the only one.
Yeah, no, we're going to debate all 4.
Oh, man.
But I think it's a good place to start. You got to start somewhere, right? So laying out some basic ground rules to start from and build off of.
There goes my authority. I can't even lay down 4 rules.
It's still your podcast. You can always just stop it. We know you can barely start it.
I can't start it, so who knows if I can stop it? There's been a time I couldn't stop it either. It won't end, guys. What do we do?
Just power off the computer. All right. Yeah. Well, we'll get into that. Or do you want to get into the discussion on those 4 points already? Why not? Let's jump into it.
More already is. Where are you getting these rules? She says.
From a guy on a lawnmower.
Yeah. Riding lawnmower.
Ride on lawnmower. Yeah.
No,
where did you come up with these?
Just off the top of my head.
Oh, so these are Chris of the Northwest's rules.
These are pretty much my rules. Yeah. The idea of a power trail is typically they're going to be placed by one or a group of cache owners, right? You're going to have a group, maybe a state organization, maybe just one cache owner who decides this is it. I want to put out 1,000 caches because it's me.
Now that I know that these are your rules, I really want to tear them apart.
I like my friends. Okay. Bye-bye, Land Monkey. Okay, now you're back.
Actually, I mean, the first one it makes sense. They should be basically kind of part of a series. I agree with that. There should be something that ties them together, a theme, even if it's just the name. But on a good power trail, there's something thematic that ties them together, whether the types of hides or the anything like that. So and it can be either by a single person or a group that's coordinated and working together. Oh my goodness, what's this?
I don't know. Keats put it out here. All hail Chris's rules. So I'm just going to leave that one up for a while.
Yeah, all right, you go ahead.
Oh, I kind of like this one too. Cliff CRS 98. Oh, Dora Moore 2 CRS 98 says he loves it. So to make long power trails interesting, only do the prime number ones.
There you go. All right. Well, your second point was that the caches should be placed at the minimum distance between hides. I mean, by the governing guidelines of the game, that's the minimum distance they have to be placed. But I would suggest that you don't have to abide by that. I think you can do a power trail and have any distance between them as long as there's. I think you're more trying to get at rule number 4 is kind of really what the crux of it is to me.
2 and 3 kind of go together. Minimum distance and easy to find.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm still not totally buying into the minimum distance one, but easy to find. And the purpose of the series is to provide as many finds as possible. Yeah, I would say in the true sense of what a power trail is, I would agree with that.
See,
Um,
see, you can agree with me.
yeah,
Doesn't hurt that.
sometimes. Um, and then number 4, the one that even you think is controversial.
Yeah. I mean, the idea is, to have a good number to make it entertaining, perhaps an entire day. But 150 could be a power trail, and you can get through that, in an hour or two, depending on how close they are, how easy they are to find. So
150 in an hour. That seems like a lot to do in an
does
hour.
it?
Well,
Well, aren't they
there's
doing
only
like
60
aren't
minutes in an hour.
yeah maybe I would say, aren't people up to like 800 in a day now?
Sure, but I mean that's along things like the ET highway or the Route 66 and those, where there's like 1,000 laid out linearly
Hmm.
by all of your other rules there. Um, I kind of like your number 4 though, that it should be a sufficient number of caches in the series to make a challenging day of geocaching. And so that number could range, right? I mean, it
Right, exactly.
doesn't have to be 500 in a day or 800 in a day. It could be 100 in a day, and you're doing it by bike, and it was challenging.
Hmm.
Um, could be 50 in a day and be a power trail. I think a lot of really cool power trails, and you were alluding to this earlier, and we'll probably touch on it later, have 81 caches because each cache fills in a spot on your fizzy grid. So you can complete a day and do a loop on your fizzy grid. That to me would be a huge challenge if
Right.
they're if they're
It would have to be
properly
a challenge, but I wouldn't consider that a power trail.
well. Well, there you go. I think
So
we're
in the chat,
yeah.
Keith wants to know what's the record for the most caches found in a day, and I threw out 800. But GSM times 2 says friends got 1,001 in a day.
Wow, that's crazy. And
Yeah.
that's got to be
Mhm.
like a day, like midnight to midnight kind of day. I don't know.
Could be. It's not about the numbers; it's about the stats.
That's right. That's right. I like that. So maybe we can switch gears just for a moment. We'll talk about some tips if you are.
I'm going to make laminated cards with these rules in them and put them in all power trail caches from this point
I
on. So,
really think you should.
yeah, I think that should be very interesting.
Yeah. And put your personal phone number on it.
Okay.
For those who have feedback on it, give me a call. Let's discuss. Uh, actually, what you should do is make it, hey, if you have feedback on this, call it. What, 853-693-TFTC?
Well, 867-5309 is, I think, what you were going through for, but it was 253-693 TFTC.
253. So I can't even get the number right. That's all right. So let's talk about some pro tips if you're thinking of tackling a power trail, regardless of how you define a power trail. But if we think about some of the most common power trails, and we're talking about some of those ones down in the Nevada and California deserts, we're talking about and other states and locations. There's some farm roads
Mhm.
in BC, Alberta, Washington State, Oregon that have long lines of caches. Some Forest Service roads up here for sure
Mhm.
in the Northwest. So there's all kinds of different locations where you can find something that classifies as a power trail. But the first thing we would say is do your research before you go. Make sure you understand where the trail is beginning and ending. And I would add to that, and I don't know if you've got this else in there, but I would add to that too. Lay out your map in advance. Understand the routes that you're planning to take, what roads actually interconnect. Sometimes on the geocaching map, it looks like, oh, I'll just do this, 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 and this. And then you actually arrive and you're like, oh, crap, that doesn't work.
Exactly. Yeah. So, yeah, define where the trail begins and ends, right? Maybe there's intersecting, maybe there's linked series, as we'll come and see here in a bit. But just take some time and do some research. Just don't pop out there and say, hey, I think we can get 1,000 in a day.
Sure, why not? Another good rule is to prepare for changing weather with appropriate clothing. So if whether you're hiking, biking, or even doing it by car,
Mhm.
if you're out for a very full day, and depending where you are, you could get a change in the weather. So I think that's a rule that we would always apply for a day out geocaching. But,
That's right.
keep that one in mind.
Well, the thing that comes to mind for me is the ET highway, right? That's out in the desert. You're
Yeah.
going to dress cool. You're going to dress, with shorts because it's hot in the desert, but not necessarily. It can be very cold in the morning and the evenings,
Yeah.
and heat in the day. So you could get a huge swing. And then if, you see a storm coming off in the distance, there,
Yeah.
there could
And
be
gas station tuna has a good caveat to add to that as well there. Very ironically coming from gas station tuna, but it's fill the tank just before starting.
Yep. Well, what's the next point you want to talk about, Land Monkey?
Planning your driving route and supplies and planning your breaks,
Mhm.
starting early, see if there's a way you can, avoid traffic. And the famous Star Wars quote, stay on target.
Target. Stay on target. Um, yeah, you want to start early, right? If you're going to try to get a huge number, you need all the time you can get.
Yeah.
So, I mean, some people starting early is midnight, right? That's about as early as you can get. But plan
Right.
it. I mean, look at your supplies. Is there a place to get food along the way? What about bathroom breaks? You need to plan
Bathroom
those,
breaks
or
are
are
for
you
wimps.
planning for something else in case of the bathroom breaks or lack thereof?
That's what the bottle
Again,
is for.
yeah. Well, who needs a bottle? Um, Again, planning your route, right?
Yeah.
Are you starting near a larger town, which may have morning and evening traffic, or are you planning to end there? So, just think about things like that and
Yeah.
don't get distracted. There could be, oh, that's the oldest cache in the state. You know what? Let's just run over there and go get that.
Well, and again, right, it all depends what you're after, but we're so we're not saying don't go for oldest caches or don't don't enjoy your geocaching, stay on target. No, we're like geocache however you want, but if your goal is
Right.
to complete a power trail and maximize your finds for that day, if that's your goal, that's what these tips are really oriented towards.
And that's what the 4 rules are about.
All right, fine.
There's the 3 laws of robotics. I have the 4 rules of power trails.
Ah, do the rules supersede each other at any point?
No,
Okay.
not if they're done in order.
Perfect. All right. Well, your next pro tip you've shared is um, to track your time, watch your time, um, plan ahead to limit the amount of time that you expect to search for any one cache, and keep an eye on your find rate. If you have a target goal, right? If you're like, okay, we're gonna hit 300 in a day, then you got to know what that breaks down to. That will help you go, okay, which means we have approximately X number of minutes or seconds per cache search. Keeping in mind that it's not just the search; it's sometimes opening the container and putting your name on the log and putting it
Right.
back and put it back.
Yeah. That's a good one. Just don't toss it out of the window and say that was close enough. No, put it back where you found it.
Yeah. To that end, I pull up what CRS98 just put in the chat. I like that one too. Know when to quit. If it isn't safe or if you stop having fun, then just go do something else. I like that. That's a really good
Well,
piece
if
of
you're just doing the prime numbers, you're not, it'll be a little more driving,
yeah.
but a little more of a challenge. Yeah.
There you go. So you talked a little bit about roles and having kind of a team in the vehicle as one power caches.
Well, I saw it.
Define roles if part of team.
I can't. There was something in the chat that
Oh,
said you shouldn't cache. You shouldn't try to power trail alone.
yes. I think that was Brylang who said that a ways back.
Anyway, I thought I could find it.
But you can't. All right. So if we're not going to cache by ourselves, if we're not trying to do the power, there you go. You can't do
There it is.
1,000 in a
Thank
day
you very much.
solo. Sorry, go ahead, Chris.
You had it.
So yeah, it's going to be basically impossible, I would think, for a person to do 1,000 in a day solo. Brylang's advice is take a full vehicle load so you can swap tasks during the day. So there's the segue for you, Chris.
Take a vehicle load of people. Like a driver, right? The driver has his own dedicated GPS or phone, so they can see. I'm going to say he. I apologize if I offended someone. They, because well, I think about myself as in a driver role. I think about myself in each one of these roles, so I tend to say he.
I think about you often too, Chris.
Thank you. Are there roles involved, like a Kaiser or a Cinnamon?
Or an RPG?
The driver has a dedicated GPS or phone, right? So they can see where the next cache is and how far they have to go. Maybe they're using a tool like Cache Tour, right? That's going to tell you, it's going to break down your stop time for the number of caches you want to find over a period of time. We'll tell you how long you have and if you're ahead or behind schedule. So it's really a nice tool if you want to do that. And the driver is also in charge of safety. Safety is his primary priority, right? Again, I see he, I apologize. The driver, is the one that's looking around, right? Is it safe to get out of the car? Is somebody coming? Is there anything going on that it needs to watch? Because the other roles may not be paying attention to what's going on around them because they're focused.
Makes sense.
The gas station tuna says a driver, a navigator, and a finder. I have a logger instead of a navigator.
Well, you take a look at GSM times 2. His next one there, he's got
There should be 4 minimum, he says: driver, navigator, finder, stamper, signer. Stamper, signer. Something for like the ET highway. When you, I know at one end or the other, there are extra containers preloaded with logs, so you can stamp them ahead of time, and then you just get out and swap containers. You don't actually sign anything. So you take a container that has been pre-stamped, or a log, swap it out, jump back in the car, toss that one back for the stamper logger to update, and you just go out and change containers rather than actually taking the time to sign anything.
Yeah, I mean, you're still finding the one from that spot, and you're still replacing a like container from that series into that spot. I mean, we'll get into this a little bit more later, but actually, I think we segue to it now, which is the next piece, which is have fun. It's challenging. You definitely have to get along with the other people in the car. You have to have a sense of humor. You got to be feeling that numbers are everything for that day.
Right.
This is and this is why this is controversial. This is a specific variation of the game, and it's not for everybody. Some people really enjoy doing this. A group of friends getting out and doing that. Some people hate it and can't stand it, and think it's an abomination. It's honestly, it's just a different way of playing the game. Love it or leave it. That's how I look at it. If you don't enjoy doing it, and I think this goes back to what CRS 98 was saying. If you don't enjoy doing it, then don't do it.
Right. Exactly. CRS 98 wants to know who's in charge of looking out for snakes, asking for a friend.
Usually the finder, I think.
Yeah, that one is definitely the finder. So a navigator or a logger is another person who, so as you're getting out, you need somebody to say, yes, we found that one. Yes, we found that one. Yes, we found that one. And by specific GC codes, not just, I think we found all of them in between there.
Well, if you're, if you've got either a phone or a GPSR that the navigator is using, they would be, hitting found or DNF as they move through the list. So
Three Hams is a little late. He says, just arrived. Has anyone mentioned that the ideal vehicle is a van with the side door removed?
Yeah.
And not yet. It depends on where you are, right? It depends
Yeah.
on the trail. I've heard stories of the ET highway that you need to rent a van that you can drive with the side door open. And
Yeah,
then
I'm
you
sure
need to
that'd be
go get
great.
it detailed afterwards.
Yeah. I mean, you can do it in any kind of vehicle. You just have to build your own system as you go. And I think it's probably good to have, sort of plan for a couple of days. And the first day is kind of like a trial run where you
Mhm.
kind of work out the bugs. And then the second day is a day you kind of go for your numbers. That'd be my advice.
Is it now?
That is my
And did you
advice.
remove a door?
Nope. I have
Huh.
never removed the door off of any vehicle. Well, that's not true, but to geocache.
Oh, to geocache. No, I've removed the door off a vehicle. I was attempting to fix the door.
There you go. Brylang has another good piece of advice. If you rent a vehicle for doing this, particularly if you're in the desert or on a Forest Service road, plan to take it through a car wash and then vacuum station before returning it, because it will
Yeah.
be very expensive for you if you don't.
Kate says, if you take the door off, learn how to tuck and roll.
Oh
That's what the seat belts
my.
are for. You're fine.
You probably shouldn't be driving that fast with the door off, but yeah, okay. All right, what else you got?
GSM times two says, I would much rather open and close a door 1,000 times than to eat dust all day and have to clean the car afterwards.
Well, the car is going to get dirty inside anyways,
Mhm.
but yeah, that's a valid point for sure.
And if you're renting a car, it's not your door to open and close 1,000 times. So have at it. Brylang says, hashtag learn from my experience. Let's see. The cloud of dust at each spot will just get in the car anyway. Says
There you go.
Brylang. Yes, as you stop, the cloud of dust catches up with you.
Yeah.
And a hearty hi-ho silver. Oh, that's a different cloud of dust, isn't it?
Same idea.
Same idea. Do you think he was power caching?
Probably. We should check with Tonto.
Okay.
I think Tonto was the logger.
Tonto, go into town. Why do I always go into town, Kimosabi? Anyway, he gets beat up every time he goes into town.
Yeah.
Poor Tonto.
Poor Tonto. All right.
Hey, while doing some research for this, I
Yes.
found a very interesting series of caches
Okay.
in Oregon. So, Subway Mark, listen up. This one is around Mount Hood, and he calls it a linked series, right? So they're shorter power trails, but something like what you said, Land Monkey. Here, let me read the description.
Okay.
Are you ready to fill your fizzy chart? Here's
Yes.
a linked series that will help you do so. Brought to you by your friends, Team ESP and Team ALE or ALE. We're giving you an opportunity to cache 2 states and every possible difficulty terrain combo while enjoying the beautiful countryside that is the east end of the Columbia River Gorge. Park and grabs, we got them. Climbing and paddling, got them. Challenging hides, steep scrambles, got them. A multitude of different containers with differing styles of camouflage, got them. In fact, if we're not able to provide one of the best well-rounded experiences that you've ever had, then we have not done our job.
So the description here sounds like it violates most of your rules that you laid out.
Well,
If you got it, so park and grabs are basically what your rules are all based on, but then
Mhm.
they're talking about climbing, they're talking about paddling. I mean, if you got to stop and pull out the kayak and go find the cache, then I think that connected trail of cache is going to be a true fizzy filler.
Mhm.
From the way they've described this, sounds great. But I don't think it's a power trail per your earlier description.
Well, it's definitely not a power trail, as it is
Okay.
a linked series. Right?
Ah,
It's not one power trail; it's a series of
right.
caches that I believe are either very close to each other. You could do one series from another series.
Right.
And they are all around Mount Hood
Well, that's
and in the
cool.
Columbia River Gorge. So, I mean, I looked at that and, I was looking for power trails, and that one just caught my eye as something different. I'm like, ooh, that
Do
sounds
you
like
have
fun.
do you have a GC code for people to go
I
check
sure
that?
did at one time. I don't now.
All right. Well, while our chat lackey looks for that, maybe, or anybody else in the chat who might happen to know a GC code for that, that sounds to me like a lot of fun. Just having, you could spend probably 1 to 2 days and fill your fizzy grid legitimately. That sounds to me like a lot of fun. Just having, you could spend probably
Are
one
you
to two
hearing my
days
audio?
to fill your fizzy grid
Yes.
legitimately. That was weird.
Sorry. There you go.
Okay.
All done. I was looking back through my history trying to find that one, and I opened up one too many.
That's the second mistake.
They come in threes.
Anyways,
It's not like he's wagging his finger at me.
so as I've said twice now tonight, that does sound like a lot of fun to do that series.
Do you want me to play that back so it's
No, I'm good.
even
I'm
more
good.
fun?
Thank you. Yeah.
That would be double the fun.
No,
Twice
no,
the fun.
actually it wouldn't. It would start to actually just get kind of annoying at that point. All right. Hey, did you want to jump into some of the feedback we've had, and are we ready to just start talking about what our
there's so
listeners
much
are talking
feedback.
about?
Yeah.
I know. I've got pages of it here.
So I don't know if we'll be able to click on all the show you all the whatchamacallits, the individual chats.
Yeah, the whatchamacallums.
Yeah. 3Ham says a power trail of earth caches would be land monkey's heaven.
That'd be pretty awesome.
I've seen a power trail of letterboxes.
Yep.
As long as there's a stamp, you can call it a letterbox.
Yeah. Yep. I've seen it letterboxes. I've seen where I goes, multis, traditionals, mysteries, which is, part of the fun of GeoArt as well, right? Like we didn't get into it too much, but GeoArt can be a form of power trail as well.
That's true.
So
and
we'll just put a pin in that one for the moment.
Yeah, some of the ones in Idaho are really well done using the different color of icons.
Yeah, that I think I was always impressed with that, the jet and the train and such. And there's some great GeoArt in the Okanagan, in the Kelowna area of British Columbia. There's the KVR one, which is a front view of a steam engine coming down the rails. There's of course the Challenge Bear, which is an amazing piece of GeoArt.
Can you be clothed to do the Challenge Bear?
It's optional.
Okay.
I would opt for clothes, but your mileage may vary.
And your bears may vary.
Yes.
Wet Coaster wants to know, is there a distance limit on how close earth caches can be to one another?
Nope. There isn't, but the caveat on that is that earth caches on the same topic can't be in a close proximity to each other. So if you can find a way to string together a whole bunch of earth caches within a short distance of each other on a variety of reasonable topics and get them all published,
you'll be there, won't you?
I will come visit. That sounds like fun. GSM times 2 says, I don't believe there's a distance limit, but I bet you'd have trouble getting it past a geo-aware.
I think they are aware.
Yes, they are. What Coaster also said, on a hiking trail, yes. Along country roads, no. I think I'm not sure what the context of that comment was.
I think what he prefers for a power trail.
Okay. Trexer asked if a power trail can be on a hiking trail, and I say absolutely, totally it can. You don't have to just drive them. You could hike them.
Wet Coaster says there are several power trails, in quotes, in Ontario that are on former rail lines.
Oh, the rails to trails kind of thing. Yep.
Mhm.
That's cool. Those are fun. Um,
Well,
Keats.
Keith,
Oh,
there
no,
you
go
go.
ahead.
Keats is not a power trail technically, but I'm a fan of GeoArts. I'm going to do at least a couple when I'm in Nova Scotia this October.
There you go. Yeah, agreed. And that's what we were mentioning earlier, that geoarts can be a form of power trail.
Mhm.
Um, Keats also reminds folks to bring their stamps. I think I saw somebody else mention bringing stamps and having a
Stamps is a quick and easy way to hit those logs and move on.
yip yip.
Yep, 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 yep. Poster
Boring.
says a day is an individual day. That's pretty limiting.
Well, I don't know. I would say, yeah, a day. And like I said before, maybe, plan for a couple of days so you can have kind of a test out day, test run day, and then sort of your go-to day. And sure, I mean, you can do multiple days, but I don't know, I'd find it would get wearing fairly quickly. And even if you're doing it with fun people that you enjoy being with, after a couple of days, I
It's
don't know,
not so much fun
I
anymore.
think it would be enough.
So GSM times two,
Yes.
who's got a couple of controversial topics. His first one says, don't call one of the Adventure Lab series, like the Lincoln Highway, a power trail.
Oh, is that a challenge?
I think it is.
Why? Why not call it a power trail?
Well, something like the only reason I know this so well is because I just spoke to him in the previous podcast
Okay.
and he brought this up. So the Lincoln Highway, I know he told me, let's say it's over 3,000 miles long.
Okay.
Okay. And along it is, even if there's 1,000 stop locations, the distance between them is much longer than what you would consider a typical power trail.
Right. Well, and I would imagine that you can't do them as fast as you would do a power trail either, because based on the whole concept of an adventure lab, you you go to the location, you do a little reading or observation, and then answer a question. That's probably going to take you longer than jumping out the door and swapping containers. So,
You just stamp the sign that has the number on it you're looking for and you move on.
yeah, but I don't think it'll log your find that way.
Oh, oops. Okay.
There you go. What else you got?
Still going back to all hail Chris's rules.
Yeah. Okay. So, do you want to just end on that one? Is that
Oh,
going to make you
Wakecoaster
feel
says,
better?
I want to see Chris complete the Dufferin Power Trail in a single day. There are 568, all close to minimum distance apart, all by the same owner. Well, I didn't say I could do it, but it would be challenging to try.
It also sounds like it complies with your rules. I
See?
I can't imagine. No, I don't see any way I could do 568 by myself in a day. That's
Correct.
because you got to drive, get out. Like, no, there's just no way.
IHAM says he tried to say power, but it's just powy.
Poe.
These things only exist for the numbers. And that's true.
Yep.
They're
Absolutely.
only there to get your numbers up. And some people see that as a challenge.
Yeah.
Other people look at it and go, I don't care.
I've done it a few times, and to me, it is 100% about the people that you're with.
Yes.
Yes, you run up some numbers, great, but it's really about the fun with the friends. So
Mm-hmm.
I think I just keep going back to the, if you're not enjoying it, don't do it. Yeah.
So Keats also says, one time I was going on a power trail near Lewisburg, Nova Scotia. Guy pulls up in his car and says, you doing all right, bud? He thought I had broken down. Car power trails can make muggles wonder.
Indeed. Yeah, I can
Yeah,
see
the
that.
car only goes 528 feet at a time and then stops.
And it stops. And then
I
yeah, the
must
guy
have
gets
an
out, goes,
electric.
looks at the side of the road, gets back in. Oh, that's funny.
Okay, Sierra. GSM times 2 says, according to Project GC, the top finds in a day are you ready? 5,578. Yeah. 3,595 and 3,283. Now, I know the number 2, and I think it's a mistake in logging.
I just don't see how those numbers are feasible. I don't know.
Well, Brylang did some math for us.
Okay.
There's 1,440 minutes in a day. So 1,440 caches in a day should be possible.
There you go.
Now, how you do double that?
I'm thinking, so that's like every 30 seconds you have found and replaced another cache. I don't know. I'm having trouble buying into that being feasible, but okay. All right.
I agree.
What else have we got? We talked about the Dufferin Power Trail. I'm scrolling down, trying to catch up. Keats had said, as a finder while doing a power trail in Edmonton, my hip started to get pretty sore after getting out of the car over 100 times. Definitely swap shifts. So there you go.
Yeah. And that's it. You're getting out of the car just on one side, right?
Yeah.
So that left leg is lifting over and over again. Don't go lifting your leg over 100 times in a day.
Well, unless you're walking.
Oh, okay.
Then you really should lift your legs 100 times.
Oh, let's see. Just remember, don't eat food that gives you gas. You get gas separately than from your food.
Yeah. Anyways, there's all kinds of food you should probably avoid if you're going to be doing a power trail.
White Coaster says, I've done 143 finds in a single day as part of a group. It was going to be, it got to be not a lot of fun after a while.
There you go. But so, yeah, I mean, that's a huge number, 143 in a day. So there you go. Yeah, well, I think we've more or less.
Here you go. Okay. So the,
this is about
Lincoln
the Adventure
Highway,
Labs.
Yeah, is 2,448 miles, 850 locations. If it were a power trail, there would be 24,480 caches along that distance. So you really can't call it a power trail.
No, and it's a different kind of experience, right? Again, I think it goes back to what you're saying, like the Highway Adventure Labs series is that have been put out by GSM times 2 and some others, and the one that Keats and the team up in Canada are working on. Those aren't intended to be power trails. Those are intended to be actually enjoy communities and locations and see some interesting stuff as you travel through an area and get some finds. So I would definitely agree that those are definitely not power trails in that sense.
Okay. GSM times 2 just loves to stir the pot. It says controversial topic, leapfrogging or not leapfrogging.
Yeah, I'm just staying out of that one. That gets way too controversial.
Now, I can see that if you're all in a car and you're doing specific roles, right? Like the driver isn't going to be able to go out and see every cache, but the finder could not have gotten there without the driver, right? So as a team, yes. Now, if you're breaking up and splitting up and, perhaps hitting it from two different ends or no.
And that's what I think Gas Station Tuna and GSM times 2 and a few others are getting at is that concept of multiple vehicles. And when they say leapfrogging, I don't think they're talking about rotating the roles within the vehicle.
No, definitely not. But I mean, I don't think leapfrogging in vehicles is fair.
Yeah. All right.
That's not the way I would choose to play the game.
There you go.
I've written the 4 rules of power trails.
So, the end.
Do I have to bring that up again? Because I will.
I think you should. I think you should do that a few times. But I think we have pretty much run this one into the ground. What do you think?
Well, I think if we do the whole thing again,
Yeah.
people will start to get it.
Oh, did we start the podcast? Do you
Pretty
want to
close.
check?
No.
Okay. All right.
Starcaster says one of my personal geocaching rules is I have to physically touch the container in order to log it.
That's a good
I
rule.
can see that.
Yeah. I like to at least see the container.
Definitely.
I don't always have the opportunity when we're caching as a group to physically touch it, but I know where it was hidden. I saw it come out. I was standing right there, so I don't necessarily have to put my hand on it, but I get where he's coming from.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, what do you think, Chris? Wrap it up.
I think we've hit the end of this trail.
IAM says you're running out of power.
Running out of power.
Powered down. Powered down for the night.
Hey, folks, thank you for listening. We hope you enjoyed this episode of Caching in the Northwest.
That's right. And we want to take a moment to thank Landsharks and Gold Country Geotourism, our corporate Denali level sponsors. Landsharks.ca is the outdoor adventure and geocaching store. Check them out online, and remember, they're shipping online orders daily. And for an absolutely amazing geocaching adventure, check out exploregoldcountry.com. And we want to thank our faithful Denali level supporters. That's Landsharks, Gold Country Geotour, Team Squirrel, Groovy Owl, and Cashly, the geocaching app. If you want to know more about supporting this podcast, well, why don't you head on over and click that Patreon link on the cachingnw.com, a website.
That's right. Like, well, Keats 94 did.
And Ella Robrick.
On a boat.
GSM ×2.
My favorite meal, gas station tuna.
Is it now?
No.
Your other favorite meal, green words.
Ooh. And Donners.
And MC3 Cats.
UDAC.
Broncos fan for life.
I don't know about you, but you talks to rocks.
Oh, yeah. T. Sayer.
Segehove.
Team Noltex.
Just finding our way.
Tickamagonet.
Wet Coaster.
The Geo Travelers.
Boomer 365. See, it builds up with the tension.
The suspense was unbearable. Antaeus.
Camp Clan.
Hackerdock.
Logwork.
Dora Moore.
Wino Seattle.
The GeoNav Pros.
The RE54321.
The B Pendragon.
The Peach of Washington.
How peachy. Sprouter.
Limax.
CRS 98. 3 hams in a rows.
M-Nerf.
Kev Mac D.
Genies.
Kid Vegas 19er.
Trexer Zeroer. It doesn't look the same.
There you go. LG 9000.
Seebeck Tribe.
Subway Merc.
Cannel Barb.
And Fairwood West. That's a lot. We have a lot of patrons.
That is a lot.
I am very thankful to each and every one of you. That I'm amazed. I'm blown away by how many patrons we have.
I know, and it only grows. We must be doing something right. Well, and we thank you, each and every one. We really do appreciate it.
Indeed.
Folks, thanks for taking the time to listen to this episode of Caching in the Northwest. Don't forget, your support helps keep the quality shows coming. If you like the show, click the Patreon link on the cachingnw.com website. If you didn't like the show, let us know what you would like us to talk about. And in either case, subscribe on iTunes or Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and more. Subscribe. Subscribe.
Okay.
Go ahead, just subscribe and give us a review. Of course, you can call into 253-693-TFTC and leave us a comment, ask us a question, or invite us to carpool on any of these power trails, any time of the day or night. And of course, you can email us at feedback@cachingandw.com. Join us every Thursday night at 9 p.m. for a live show and chat. The show is produced by Chris Umfenauer, Jim Paulwitz, and Jay Kennedy. It's licensed under a Creative Commons Attribution 3.0 license, copyright 2021 by Chris Umfenauer. And folks, I ask you to stay tuned for
The After Show.
Was that loud?
It was a little clippy, but not bad.
Okay.
All right. Well, we are in the after show. We made it all the way to the after show. Good job. What do we got?
I
What
don't know. We have to
coaster
put Ari before Boomer every time.
are you doing?
5, 4,
So that we
3,
get a
2, 1,
countdown?
Boomer! 2, 6, 5. Well, I randomize them before every show. So,
We just never know what order they're going to come in.
and I got both Boomer 365 and Kitty West.
I know you had the whole range going on
Yeah.
tonight. That was good. Well
Yeah.
done. Well played.
Yeah.
All right. What coaster has the first FATAS that I see in the list, anyways, from our chat lackey? And it is, he says, I need the September souvenir promotion to start this Monday, not Labor Day. I'm on vacation next week.
Oh no! Well, we know it starts
Um,
the first Monday
Yep.
of the week of the month.
Of the month. So it is what
So
it is, I guess.
I was able to reach this month's peak.
Yep.
In just 2 days of caching. Two incidences. I went out Friday night after work and did an adventure
Yeah.
and 3 caches that were all in the same park. And then had to get home before traffic got too bad. And then Sunday I went out again.
You got people in the live chat who are asking if they missed the last.
No, I didn't do a last tonight. I thought we went a little long, so I purposely skipped it.
There you go. As well as we skipped our first run at our intro tonight too.
Well, this is not the normal show.
No,
If this is your first time here, the shows normally go a lot smoother than this.
This has been an interesting one. We really need Jim back. That's what I'm going to say.
Boy, it just falls apart without him, doesn't it?
Clearly it does. All right. What else have we got? Start Cacher has a FATAS said, how many found logged a cache on Thursday using the official geocaching app on Android and saw the fun surprise for International Dog Day that Geocaching HQ mentioned in the logbook email on Tuesday? I did not. I'm not sure what this is about.
I didn't either.
All right.
Brian Lang says the last happened in the first 4 minutes tonight.
That's right. If you missed the first 4 minutes, I'm sorry, you missed all the good content for sure.
That's right. That's where we put all the really good stuff and then didn't share it with you. Wait a
Okay.
minute,
Oh,
that's
Start
not-
Cache goes on and says, he explains what this was. He said he did find a cache and logged it. He said on the congratulations screen was a let's celebrate button. When you click that, there were a fireworks like burst of doggies that then floated down the screen like firework embers. That's awesome.
That is cool. No, I didn't. Well, number one, I don't use the official geocaching app all that often. And
Fair enough. Yep.
Thursday, I don't do a lot of geocaching on Thursdays.
No, we're usually kind of busy on Thursdays. Yeah.
Oh, there's 2 things against that. Bummer. But yes, it was it International Dog Day?
It was apparently International Dog Day. I did see that on the interwebs.
Keith says, I got one of those Pancake Java notifications for my GC app. Apparently I reached a new height.
Congratulations.
Yeah, Pancake Java. That's the official name of the hike or the mountain there.
Pancake Java. All right. What else you got?
UDAC wants to know if anybody got a Powerball ticket in the US. Is that like, a speeding ticket or concert tickets or
I assume
lottery
that's for that Powerball lottery you guys have.
Yeah. Mhm.
All right. Did you go and do that? Do you
No.
participate in that?
It was funny. My son, who's very methodical in his thinking, when the numbers get really high, it's like, Dad, you know what? If we won that, yeah, I know it would be a lot of money. Let's go have a look. Let's look at the odds. And more people play. And it's like, the week after, well, the odds don't change actually. The week after, less people play, but the odds of getting the numbers are the same. But, often I will go out and, you know what? I'll go spend $2 if I can win a couple 100 million. Okay.
Yep. Yeah, I guess it's worth you have to look at it not like an investment. You have to look at it like it's a recreation that may or may not have
Exactly.
a big reward.
It's gambling.
It is. Yeah.
It really is. Now, I know we didn't mean to do that. We didn't mean to go down here, but it's the after show. My mother used to buy a lottery ticket every week.
Oh yeah.
And she never won much, $5 here, $10 there, but there was a couple of times she got a couple of $100 out of it. And she figures over her life, she just about broke even.
Well, there you
So
go.
if you play the long game,
you'll break even on the long game. All right. I don't know. It sounds like you'd be better off to just keep your money.
I think so.
All right. What else have we got?
Any news on a land shark show in December?
Not yet, but
Not yet.
we've rumored about it.
Mhm.
I think
It's
we're just sort
something
of
we
waiting.
really want to do.
Yeah, we do really, really want to do. I think we're just waiting to see when the border gets opened.
Mhm.
And technically you could come up now, but I think we're going to wait until things are a little more under control, and then we'll get it planned. But trust us, we will make sure listeners of this show know the moment that that we've got it planned.
Nice. Yes, because that is something we really want to do. We want to do
Indeed.
another Christmas event at the Land Sharks store.
Yep.
Keats says, oh, I thought I had it here. Here it is. T'Chal's Adventures. That's the
Trans-Canada Highway Adventure
Trans-Canada
Lab series.
Highway, yeah. I just like saying T'Chal's. Are
T'Chal.
popping up all over Canada. It's cool to see this is happening. It's been great to work with such awesome people.
Good job, Keats. Thanks for taking that on.
Let's see. This was very nice. For those of you south of the border, and I think he means the Washington border, the half Canadian,
the international border.
Or the international border, right? Oh, yeah. That's right. This is in Long Beach. For those of you south of the border, the half Canadian Wizard of Ooze Fun Beach Memorial event has been published and is on September 18th in Long Beach.
Excellent.
You know what?
I hope people go and enjoy that. Us Canadians can't, but there is a tribute cache to the same cacher that's been placed up here in Metro Van.
Half Canadian.
And it's not just a piece of Tupperware in the woods tribute cache. It is a pretty impressive tribute cache.
Wow. Nice.
There you go.
Nice.
MC3 Cats commented that one of the hosts from this podcast is hosting an event this weekend. Is that a thing?
What are you doing, Land Monkey?
I'm going on a big hike this weekend. What are you doing?
It's my birthday this weekend.
Aww.
No, I'm hosting a Washington State Geocaching Association event. So just a little get together because we can finally get together.
Nice.
So quick and easy. Come on down.
Enjoy your birthday.
It's not raining.
This will be. Well, I have come down for your birthday before.
It'd
be disappointing not to be able to do it this year.
Yeah, well, this one isn't quite the same milestone as the previous.
Well, that's true. I'm
only 36.
All right.
Don't I look great?
You do. Better every day.
Young fellow.
That's what it is.
Yeah. Okay. And with that, folks, thanks for listening. Until next week, get out and get caching.